Hello and welcome to the Slingshot Channel. One more episode about airsoft guns, but today it's gonna be blowback. Let's start with this one. This actually looks very much like a Beretta 92 and it actually is also really well made. It's heavy. The maker is KG Works and they call the model M9. I think that's because that's what it's called in the US Army. The weight and the handling and everything is just like on the real model. So you have a magazine, and the magazine even has 2 stacks of BBs in it, just like the original 9mm magazine, which is also double stacked. You can get about 21 shots into the magazine. That's probably a little more than you could get into the real Beretta, but close enough. And of course it's CO2 powered, and you can see the CO2 cartridge in here. The CO2 cartridge will last for about 50 shots, which isn't very much for a BB, but the CO2 also has to activate the blowback. And that's the fun part, because if you shoot the blowback, then you can really see that it is actually repeating the entire mechanism. This means the slide is pushed back with the gas and the repeating action happens. And that's the fun part. It really has some kick that way. I love it. Isn't it great? So again, it is of course a weak shooting pistol. It's designed to be shot against other players, so against humans. And this means that it shouldn't be too powerful. The art is to make it still shooting precise enough, even though it's shooting a lightweight plastic ball that wants to fly in crazy directions. And also, of course, it gives you some real weight and some real kick. And that's what I love on the blowback. It's actually so much more fun shooting the blowbacks than shooting a plain gun, at least it is to me. For some serious shooting fun, I made these clap-down targets, which are really fun and the most simple construction you could possibly imagine. They are made from some leftover plywood, very thin plywood, and actually, as you can see, it's already dented a little bit. And they're stabilized with a single foot, and I painted the underside green and the upper side red, so that when it claps down, it shows the green. It worked! And we're ready for another round. I really like this gun because shooting with it is so inexpensive, since the BBs cost next to nothing and the CO2 cartridges are dirt cheap as well. And of course it's not dangerous, so nobody is going to be harmed. So I love this one. Again, KG Works M9, and you can get this at Bugatti. Thanks for the guys from Bugatti for sponsoring me. Alright, the next weapon that we're looking at is this one here. It's actually a Lomax. And it's an M4 model, but it has the BAW acronym attached to it, and this means it's the blowback variation. And blowback means that, yes, it has kick. Did you hear it? And it really feels heavy. I think it's superb craftsmanship. The only thing that rattles is the high-capacity magazine, and some people like it and some don't. I actually love the fact that I have as much ammo as I want. Always hate this with firearms. The fun is over quickly. And also, of course, I outfitted it with a red dot and actually has pretty much usable iron sights that fold and clap down like this, and front one as well. So you can also shoot it with the iron sight. It is fun, but I prefer the red dot. Of course, it's an M16-ish weapon, or AR-15-ish, I should probably say. And actually, you know, if you do this, then this door will open, and here you have access to the hop-up. I explained the hop-up in the previous video. It really allows you to shoot long distance, even with lightweight bullets like this one. Actually, the battery is inside here, And also the blowback action that creates the kick is also inside here. And we'll come to this later. You also, of course, have a selector between safety and semi-auto and full auto. Albeit, since we're in Germany, full auto BB guns that shoot harder than 0.5 joules are illegal. So therefore, this one shoots semi-auto even in full auto setting. But in the international models, usually you have a full auto mode too. Now the high cap magazines actually are very interesting constructions by themselves, because they feed the BBs through here, and actually they have a little wind up mechanism in here. So you simply pull on this one, and then you just put the spring under pressure. Now look what happens when I pull on this little notch here. It's a BB gun in itself. That's how it reloads. Okay, let's test it again against my self-made targets. I even killed 2 targets with 1 shot. I love these things. And it feels so realistic. I mean, really, you believe that you're shooting something powerful, something way more powerful than a BB gun. Actually, it feels like shooting a 22 long rifle, I think. Pretty much comparable kick, although the kick is a little different. So how does this work? Well, actually, to create recoil, of course, there has to be a punch against my shoulder. And how they do that is they actually wind up a little spring, and actually you can hear this in the slow motion footage. Zzzt, and then when the shot falls, the BB is shot out to the front, and at the same time a big cylindrical weight is accelerated through this tube here and hits like an anvil part here. And that creates the kick. Actually, the thing is that it feels almost realistic with one exception. Of course, because the thing is that when the heavy sled is accelerated, the weapon is pushed to the front a little bit and then comes the hit. So the recoil is not just, but it's like. And I think I have built a weapon that demonstrates this really well. Meet the Slingshot Blowback Rifle 2000. It's like the super magnum out of our blowback guns. Let me show you its features. So it also consists of 2 parts. And one part is this upside down fork that actually shoots just a regular 20mm steel ball. Not very powerful, fairly weak bands, but that's not the point. And of course, this has an own trigger, like the right trigger here. See, the weapon has 2 triggers. The right trigger is for the slingshot part. But at the same time, there is this heavy steel piece here. It's actually an 800 gram, like 1.8 lb steel rod, 36mm diameter. And this one is pulled by really, really heavy rubber. And again, it's pulled towards the shoulder of the shooter. That would be me. And of course, this had to be super thick, and is actually also reinforced with metal, because otherwise this hits so hard that it will crash through everything and actually be quite dangerous to the shooter. It is the left trigger that releases the iron weight. So this means when you pull both at the same time, actually just like on the BB gun, both shots will fall, and the steel ball will be accelerated to the front, and then the heavy iron part will be accelerated towards the rear. Let's shoot the slingshot rifle individually first. Okay. So that was almost 0 recoil. Actually, I couldn't feel anything, partly because the weapon is so heavy. And now we'll shoot it with the kickback part activated. That was a fairly good kick. I could really feel it in my shoulder, but it's still a little bit sore from the last air gun shot that I did. But in order to demonstrate how hard it actually kicks back, we're now putting a nut underneath it, and we'll see if we can crunch it. Only lightly holding it. And now... It worked! Very good nutcracker. Open the nut with a blowback. Okay, one more time. That was a lot of work for a single nutcracker, but I love it. So as you could see just with the picture with the BB gun, it first kicks a little bit up and then it stomps down. And that is very much the same that happens also in the BB gun. That's how the recoil effect is created. Not fully realistic, but a lot better than nothing. Could do this all day long. I can also use my little homemade targets for my broom handle Mauser IKEA pencil shooter gun, albeit from a little shorter distance. Ha! Ha! Empty, too bad. Of course, I also try to adjust the hop up just right. Now let's shoot towards the trees and see if we can follow the BB. It is amazing how straight these fly. I mean, given that the power is so tiny, and also that the BB is so light, you know, that they can fly so straight and so far, amazes me every time. And of course I'm using biodegradable BBs. This means that they're gonna rot. Not immediately, but within like 3-4 years, they're gonna disappear into nothing. So no environmental harm. Anyway, I hope you liked this, because that's it for today. Thanks and bye-bye.